Hello and welcome to Inspiral Out Loud, where Mars and I are chatting about energy today, which brings us then into what can we dream? And we can dream so many things, and we don't even need to dream that far because, we already see that there are constantly new ideas, new movements, new developments happening all over the world that are doing things better a bit at a time. And I watched the 2040 Vision movie about a year ago, and that was great because they were chatting about different things that people are doing and talking about things like decentralizing electricity. And we already know that the issues that you've spoken about with that are still there, but just the fact that people are taking steps towards these things, and therefore more people are being aware of them, I think in the long term can only help to move us forwards. And the things like sustainability as a subject has been taught in Australian universities. I know that has been taught over in Western Australia at Murdoch for at least 10 years, if not more. So that idea around thinking sustainably, about seeing the idea that one person's trash is another person's treasure, of starting to get in touch with the way that nature does things. Like, nature doesn't leave any trash behind. She automatically sets up these systems of renewal. And so I am seeing more and more ways that people are seeing that and translating that into manufacturing, into things like looking at social enterprise and looking at all your supply chains, and just making sure that all of those suppliers are using renewable sources. Things like clothing manufacturers, that now part of their selling point is the fact that they're sharing very detailed information on how to take care of your clothes so that they last a really long time, and that they have a repair service, and that they have a recycling service and things like that. So it's starting to become a marketing point for businesses to be more aware of their resources, and that's happening because the public are demanding it. And so that's where our power as consumers comes from, us becoming more participatory in that by demanding that things are just done better. And I've been talking for a while about looking at business with the viewpoint of that the earth is one of the stakeholders in it, which helps to ensure that the decision making that happens in those business projects are also going to be in service to the earth. And so I think that those kinds of shifts in thinking are definitely going to steer us in the right direction to make sure that all creatures prosper. So what's in your dream, Mars? What can you see happening in the future?
Well, I think that in the long term, it's going to become inevitable that these technologies that can truly liberate us will, one way or another, come out. And whether that's from a grassroots movement, or perhaps there will be a shift in thinking by necessity through governments in future. I think the days of mass consumerism are largely going to end, and the world that could come about from, if such a simple technology as this abundant free energy was to become available to us, even if it was not on a personal level, in other words, a device in every home, but even if it was still using the grid, but it was powered by patented hidden technology, unlimited energy would change everything for us worldwide. It would change absolutely everything. The limitations that we have by the fact that fuel costs money. If that was eliminated, the cost of all production would be dramatically reduced. The solutions, such simple things as the availability of fresh water. With free energy, that would mean you could turn the entirety of this country, which is a huge landmass, into a forest. That could feed the entire world. You could transport food to every part of the globe for effectively the cost of paying someone to navigate a ship. The production of minerals and doing things sustainably and recyclable. The cost of recycling materials is largely controlled by how much energy it costs to recycle things. If the energy component was no longer an issue, if you think about in other words, the daisy chain of things that could be done differently just by having unlimited free energy would change absolutely everything for the better. It would be extraordinary what could come about that. It would mean the end of excuses for wars over resources. That would be gone. It would mean unlimited travel. It mean if you really think about it, it'd be like living in the Jetsons and beyond. It would be absolutely extraordinary.
It would be the end of third world countries. They just wouldn't need to exist anymore because they could be self-reliant. Yeah.
That's 2/3 of the world population that are still in survival mode. That all those minds that could be put to work to create solutions and to think about things in a very different way. It would be incredible. It would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm seeing it. I'm just seeing the level of technology that could be available, and once, I don't think we can go backwards with technology, but I see that using I saw on a Netflix series not a little while ago, it was a design series, and there was a woman who was looking at like how different things grow, like molds and like kombucha cultures and all sorts of different things, and she was basically growing art. And so they were talking about the fact that they're shifting from nature inspired art and moving instead towards art inspired nature, so working with nature to enable the growing of all of these things. And I feel like that the idea of technology with nature will start to gel and combine. And I had some ideas come through a few days ago about being able to tune into the way that trees communicate with each other, about the way that water holds information and doesn't even just hold information in itself, but the fact that water tunes into the field of information around it, again, which was inspired by one of Greg Braden's videos. And the fact that we will at some stage be able to tune into that same level of information storage and speed of communication without necessarily needing to generate man-made structures, that we eventually will learn how to tune into how nature already does an incredibly advanced technology. We just don't see it because we don't know how to access it yet. So I feel that that is going to be a huge step forward as well. It's just like another sense required, and we don't know how to use that sense yet, so we don't have the interface for it. And so I guess that's moving into how we evolve as a humanity rather than what we generate outside of ourselves to then be able to interface with those different things. But look, I see the possibilities being endless. I just see the end of our industrial areas and our smelly, stinky factory areas, and that we can do everything cleanly, and that we don't have to have people around the world dying in hideous, toxic environments in order to be able to give us our 5-cent plastic lunch boxes.